Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the MALT Semifinals weekend. We're down to the final two blocks of matches for the weekend. We have a couple more losers bracket matches to decide. The conditionals are now upon us. There are two spots left up for grabs in that losers bracket to see who makes it to finals weekend. And for the 16 UTC block, we're going to have the following match. It's going to be PouletFurtif going up against Kzon to see who makes it into finals weekend. As always, my name is Sparky, and I'll be doing a solo job in the commentary booth for the time being. We may be joined by our lovely host a little bit later on, but I'll introduce them when and if they do arrive. For the time being, we're going to load up the warm-ups here and get on into it.
Seems like I'm a bit late.
Well, hello there. Alrighty, so our wonderful host does decide to join us. I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Surf285. Surf, how you doing?
Hello. I almost fell asleep all of a sudden. It wasn't the call, but yeah. It just hit we just hit a minute past midnight where I am. Okay, so
it's been a long day for you, but we have a match upon us.
Yep. And I think this is going to be one of the better matchups we're seeing this weekend. And actually the funny thing is that we haven't really seen Kzon play this pool just yet. Mostly because they did get to this round and they got to this round from a win by default over Unitori, while PouletFurtif managed to, if I'm not mistaken, get the sweep over Orkanos last night.
No, I believe that one was PouletFurtif against Exile Faker. Yeah,
there we go.
The French matchup.
Yeah, French matchup. There we go. Seems like I still have to recalibrate my brain, huh?
I mean, better late than never. Like I said, it's midnight over there. I can imagine you've been hard at work trying to get the last couple of rounds down pat, have some surprises in store for the remaining players. And we have the wonderful opportunity of deciding who is going to help fill out one of the last two slots in that losers finals. Right now, we currently have one person decided. Celestia Elves losing their match against Nanon Band Dusty a little bit earlier today. Will be in that losers finals. And after this one, we do have a doubleheader coming up at 18 UTC. We have the final winners bracket match between Accelerix and Rhymes with Mash, and Delta 386 taking on Charles Mad Cut. There are going to be some pretty exciting matches to end out this weekend, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. And I'm also eyeing that Accelerix Rhymes with Mash matchup as well. Mostly due to how spicy that one is on paper.
Yeah, for sure. Our number 1 seed going up against, I believe, our number 4 seed in the bracket. And it's going to be basically a matter of who can really hold their nerve when all is said and done in that match, because Rhymes with Mash, a very formidable 7-key player, but Accelerix has had this like meteoric rise in skill cap recently, and it's been a trend in most of the tournaments that they've joined, where they don't look the most threatening when they sign up for something, but as soon as they get their foot into the door, they basically become like a very formidable force. I'm running out of superlatives to describe how he's managed to continue doing this.
Yeah, but we're not going to be focusing on that just yet. I mean, there's this one, and I'm very aware that this one, it might be a spicy one as well. Again, we might have not seen the best of these two players just yet this weekend, and now that they're fighting for a spot to the finals weekend, we should be able to see something special from these two.
Yeah, for sure. Like you were mentioning a little bit earlier on, Kzon hasn't actually played a map in this pool this weekend, the beneficiary of a win by default from Unitory, so able to keep their scores hidden. Poulet needing to play 7 of the maps in this pool against Exile Faker does give them a little bit of information to work with, maybe the option of planning around some of the potential scores. There's always the potential for Poulet to improve on some of the scores they had from yesterday, but it gives them a good benchmark to play with.
All right, so we're seeing a pretty nutty Ellen release chart now that I'm taking a look at it. And PouletFurtif does seem that they're carrying a better score, and this might have a bearing once we get to the picks and ban. Get to the picks and ban strategies here. We might be
Mhm.
seeing PouletFurtif more favoring the LNs more, and I'm already assuming that Kazon will be banning either LN1 or LN2, based on what we're seeing right now. Though I do notice that Kazon is capable of getting through the Ellen picks just fine. I guess it's just really a the accuracy, matter of the accuracy. If Kazon is able to keep up, Rice on the other hand might be a different
Ooh.
story. Not
Oh my god,
Ooh,
what are these rolls?
these are really nice rolls.
That is insane. Sorry, I couldn't resist interrupting you
Wow.
there.
Yeah. Carrying over what I said, Rice might be a different story. I mean, from the warm-ups, we did see many Rice patterns here. I mean, the first warm-up was, I'm pretty sure, might be something that might be just a tad bit too hard for this tournament, depending on what the direction the Maple selectors are cooking. Wink, wink.
Mhm.
And and the other one is something that we might pretty similar to some of the picks here. PouletFurtif banning LN3, pretty surprising.
I think they just don't like the song, which is a pretty valid
Fair.
reason for banning a map. It's hard practicing a skill set you enjoy on a map that or on a song that you can't stand listening to. Now it looks like the response is gonna be Rice 4 for Kazon's ban here.
You haven't really seen too much of Rice 4 now that it gets mentioned. At least for the matches I've seen on stream,
Mhm.
like we haven't really seen right. I haven't really seen Rice 4 being performed. I guess I'm really just avoiding the most like a tactical pick. Maybe just sticking with the more straightforward stuff, especially in a pool that is pretty diverse.
Yeah, I think as the pools get harder, I feel like some of the players, unless they feel very confident in their late game abilities, are probably going to want to stick to the more bog standard type of charts, something like the chord stream or the chord jack or like the single note stream charts, because of the fact that increasing BPM on patterns you're used to is a lot easier than completely relearning different techniques and grace note patternings on some of those tech charts.
Alright, so we're seeing floating star here, LN1, and I'm actually surprised that Kazon is already going for this one, especially with what we saw on the warm-ups. Well, I guess they're just going for a strat. They're just going for a picking strategy that they've gone through. Like there are some players that literally just like make a game plan. Like, all right, regardless of what happens, I'll be playing these charts in this order. Or
Yeah, they have like their set list. And here
I'm
we
that
go.
kind of player. I'm that kind of player actually. Like I do make a set list, but then I do make adjustments mid match should something happen, which I do expect for that have a similar style.
Yeah, for sure. And we are now fully underway with the first map of this best of 11. First player to 6 points. As always, will see themselves moving on to finals weekend. The loser will be eliminated from the tournament on the doorstep, not invited to the close to final dance. And right now we're seeing a very strong start from PouletFurtif, holding on to that 99.6, almost a full percent ahead of Kzon just in terms of accuracy alone. I think Kzon picked up a pretty nasty couple of hundreds and 200s in that early going as they both cross that 400 combo cap now.
Kzon, while maintaining that full combo, is almost a percent, actually more than a percent behind in terms of accuracy
Oh.
from PouletFurtif here, but PouletFurtif finding a miss in that chart that is this short and with not many notes. It might be difficult for them. They find another miss, and this might throw a spanner in the works. Kzon still with the full combo, albeit with the worst accuracy, but considering that they are still maintaining this composure, they are starting to stretch this lead. And unless Kzon finds a few more drops here, I don't see PouletFurtif coming back in the last few seconds.
Yeah, for sure. It was looking pretty dicey there for Kzon in the early going. Poulet able to eke out a pretty comfortable advantage, but unable to hold on to the FC. Kzon able to combo game their way through that chart. The FC being just enough to see them over the line to the tune of about 17,000 points. And they pick up their first point in this match to make it 0-1.
Now it's time for us to see what PouletFurtif is going to be offering here on the table. At least Himeboshi might be something to. Actually, Himeboshi might still be safe. It's not. It might be just that. It might be just that Floating Star has more complex note placements and causing the business, because the accuracy is there, but I do like what PouletFurtif is doing right now. Like, just go for the rice, try to change the direction of the match just a little bit, and maybe see what happens from there.
Yeah, for sure. Just to see if they have an avenue of approach on these rice charts. They did play this yesterday, so there's potential for score improvement as well. It's really just going to come down to whether or not Kzon can muster up the physicality needed to make their way through this chart. Maybe they can pull out another FC out of the bag and put the pressure on Poulet to answer back and not find those drops that they found in that first LN pick.
It's pretty tricky to be consistent on this chart. At least from the time, the time I was trying to test play this during the Maple selection process. So I'm honestly thinking that a full combo here is already a pretty respectable score, and since you did mention that they got a pretty nutty score here yesterday, I guess it's time for us to see whether PouletFurtif can be consistent.
Yeah, for sure. But a very early 50 from them. Able to hold on to the combo, but pretty rough sledding through this introduction. Faring a little bit better than Kzon, but unable to hold on to the full combo as we make our way towards that 400 combo cap. And it's going to give Kzon a bit of a cushion to work with as the accuracy starts to even out. That being said, it is very early on in the chart, so isn't going to do as much damage as if it came in the back half. And I'm waiting to see if that was a Bancho miss. That was indeed a Bancho miss. Kzon still holds on to the full combo there.
Well, that would have been fatal had it been an actual miss. But we're seeing PouletFurtif starting to pull the lead back, like just a tad bit, especially with his accuracy. Kzon, even though carrying the full combo, but the worst accuracy. Like, they've been dropping accuracy quite a lot, which gives PouletFurtif that breathing room they need.
Yeah, for sure. And we see ourselves in a similar situation to the previous chart where Poulet has found a miss to their name. Kzon still holding on to the full combo here. It's really up to them to maintain the pressure on Poulet to be able to keep this last quarter clean as we begin to dive back into the streams here. And Poulet actually starting to pull away here in terms of the score gap, 20,000 points, maybe securing themselves a couple of misses in the back pocket should they need it as they progress into the last eighth of the chart here. Kzon doing very well, but unable to hang on in the end, and that is going to be the open end of PouletFurtif needs to really pull away here and secure their first point in this match.
Poulet pulling away. Actually, that actually rhymes very well. Well, with that, we're tied and we're on a virtual best of 9 now. Back at square one.
Yep, all things squared, everything goes back 0-0. Those first two maps did not happen. We just handshook them and made them a distant memory. Like you said, this is now a glorified best of 9 as Kzon is up to pick once again. I imagine LN2 is probably on the cards here. LN4 an outside shot, but it is going to be LN2 indeed.
LN2 is the safest possible pick. I mean, we saw that at least combo wise, they are capable of keeping their composure. The thing that PouletFurtif needs here is, I'm pretty sure, just get a full combo going, because we've seen it. Like, the accuracy is there.
For sure. They definitely have the ratio advantage, but it's really just, like you said, going to come down to maintaining the composure through the entirety of the chart. They had very strong start on LN1, but a couple of slider breaks towards the middle section really let Kzon pull away there as we wait for the players to ready up. I think nerve is playing a definite factor in this match. There is indeed a lot on the line. I believe making it to finals secures you at least top 6, if my math is correct.
It does, and it's pretty interesting as well, since, if I'm not mistaken, the winner of this match will be facing Silweska Els.
Oh
And
boy.
yeah, and that's going to be another Ellen versus Ellen matchup. We've seen both of these players actually capable of playing long notes.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a very interesting matchup, regardless of who wins. But for right now, still need to determine who that winner is going to be as we make our way through the introduction of this chart. Similar to LN1, a very calm introduction. The LN structures don't get too complicated, but before too long, your columns will be very inundated and you need to maintain full focus to make it through unscathed.
The main difference of this chart and LN1 is the emphasis on just these extremely long holds with with awkward releases coming from the other columns as well. Like they're trying to make you release too early on the longer ones, and as we saw from Kzon here, which means that PouletFurtif is starting to pull away, but
Yeah,
there's still quite a lot of chart remaining.
for sure. Just barely crossing into the second third now. Kzon finding that miss just before that 400 combo cap, but Poulet actually responds with a slider break of their own, and it does even up the accuracy ever so slightly, but because of the timing of Kzon's earlier miss, it gave Poulet a bit of free time above that 400 combo cap to give themselves a bit of a cushion to work with. And now with neither player above that 400 combo cap, it is basically down to the ratio difference alone. As Kzon starts to pull this lead back just a tiny bit here, it's shrunk down to just under 5,000 points now.
Well, Kzon will have the first pass through the 400 combo cap should they manage to get there. All right, I'm not gonna talk.
Now it felt premeditated as Kzon finds another drop here going into the last quarter of the chart. That one could potentially prove to be fatal. They were doing very well to start clawing back some of that lead that PouletFurtif had built up, but unfortunately not going to be able to successfully capitalize on that as we make our way into the last portion of the chart. The thing with these slow LN charts is that, sure, the LN structures get very complicated to manage and maintain, but because of the low node count, misses in the middle portions can become devastating if unanswered back by the opponent, and Poulet takes full advantage, well on course to get the first break point in this match to make it 2-1.
And this puts PouletFurtif in a very advantageous position as well, since, at least for the remaining rice picks, it favors that consistency. It favors that ratio, which PouletFurtif has shown at least for the first three charts. Though I do think that there are some certain picks that they have to be careful with. I think
Mhm.
RC2 might be one of them. Yeah, it is a chord stream chart. It's a like if your chances are if you're comfortable with it, most probably your opponent is as well.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a double-edged sword whenever it comes to some of the more straightforward picks. You do bring your opponent back into the fold if they can at least swing a decent performance on the chart. So it's really up to Poulet to find the next good pick to capitalize on that breakpoint. Maybe I was about to dive on into a tangent about the hybrids, but it is going to be Rice 2 sticking to their guns with what they know and seeing if they can make it 3-1.
Nothing much to say about this chart really, aside from this is an overall test of consistency. 150 BPM isn't exactly a comfortable BPM for like a lot of players that I know in terms of chord streaming. Like we're seeing like what most of the people I know usually look at like the 160 170 BPM range for charts like this that are pretty heavy on double stair usage.
Indeed. So we begin our way through this introduction. I imagine the actions are going to be pretty high up there, at least through the introduction, before things really start to kick off here. Like you mentioned, those double stairs can become a little bit intrusive before too long. I feel like there are some players that enjoy them, there are others that don't. So it'll be interesting to see where on the spectrum these two fall, as they're basically neck and neck going into the second quarter of the chart.
Kzon showing a bit more of a better start really, considering their accuracy at least for the first third of this chart, which is a good sign for them. It does put them in a position to potentially tie this matchup yet again. But for PouletFurtif, I'm pretty sure they might just want to hold on, because we've seen Kzon be prone to some mistakes, but same goes for both of these players actually. Like no one is safe here.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely one of those blink and you lose the chart type of maps. And right now, as we make our way into the last quarter now, Kzon actually pulling ahead in terms of accuracy, about 4/10 in the lead at the moment, accounting for basically the entirety of this lead that they have. Could change in an instant if they aren't too careful. They're really putting on the pressure here, and they find the drop on the transition. And another one to boot on the roll. Poulet makes it through unscathed. The shoe on the other foot. Poulet is now the one combo gaming their way through the remainder of this chart. Not out of the woods just yet. It is only a couple hundred points going into the ending here, and it is going to be enough. 1,300 points in favor of PouletFurtif. A very intense back and forth there at the end.
Well, that's what I mentioned. Like both of these players are prone to committing mistakes. It's really just a matter of who can hold their composure better the, from one chart to another. And this time around, it's Kzon who finds a mistake somewhere. Though again, you look at that Kzon. Actually, now that you just noticed, Kzon actually carrying the better accuracy this time around,
Yeah.
which might throw a spanner in the works here once we look at the other Rice picks.
Well, and the good thing for Kzon is that I think they were going to stick to what they knew, clear out this LN pool, potentially go into the hybrid. So it was maybe a bit of a stretch. Maybe it would have been great if they could get that breakpoint back on that Rice chart, but I don't really think it's going to affect them too badly. What might affect them a little bit is the fact that they could see that they actually out-ratioed Poulet on that chart, and it really just came down to those two drops. But it might give them some confidence as well to maybe venture into the Rice if they feel that 357 isn't the right pick. And sure enough, Rice 3 is actually going to come out now.
And you mentioned ratio as well, since we are seeing the core jack pick. From what I know exactly about, unlike the previous core jack picks, this isn't exactly a very popular one. Also because it's what, effectively like what 80. Actually no, 90. Let me get my
92.
calculator. I cannot math. 92 BPM.
92 and a
There we
half.
go. 92 and a half. There we go.
Yeah, you start to increase the pace, you increase the density as well, and you start to lose a couple of players. This is a very black and white skill set. A lot of things can go wrong, but a lot of things can go horribly, horribly right if you play your cards right. So Kzon rolling the dice a little bit on this pick, trying to bank on Poulet picking up a couple of misses to really turn the tide here. This was banned out in Poulet's match against Exile Faker, so we don't know of their prior performances on this chart. So it'll be interesting to see how they both do here.
There's like a lot of mention about column locking in this chart, and we'll have to see whether both of these players manage to trigger that mechanic or bug or let's just call it mechanic. And
Well, column rushing is a thing. I think column locking got patched out, but you can definitely CB rush where, like Poulet finding a couple of drops here, just instant, very early 50s, which I believe is that CB rush effect happening. Gonna affect their accuracy a little bit. Kzon hanging on to the full combo here, but the accuracies are dead even, 99.48 apiece, give or take a couple of hundreds of a percent. And this lead isn't actually extending that well in favor of Kzon, only about 8,000 points, but be interesting to see how it develops as we continue on here. Second quarter of the chart coming through here now.
Kzon absolutely needs to maintain this consistency as we see PouletFurtif dropping on that spacebar long jack, but still the accuracies are practically even. I mean, yeah, there's a disparity, but PouletFurtif is slowly gaining accuracy. Kzon is slowly losing accuracy, so they're starting to meet a bit halfway. It's just these misses coming from both these players. PouletFurtif finding a big rush. A sequence of multiple misses, and that just gives Kzon a lot of breathing room.
Yeah, it's one of those just trying to distinguish which notes are a part of that chord, which ones aren't. If you find yourself fumbling extra notes, that can really spell some damage throughout the rest of the sequence, and we saw that happen there. Not the biggest amount of accuracy being dropped. Both players actually still in that 99% range, given the couple of misses that they both have found. But Kzon finds a rush of their own, and that is going to potentially open the door for Poulet to start making a comeback here in this last quarter. Oh, but they are unable to capitalize on it. The instant break afterwards, and it's basically no harm, no foul for Kzon as we continue on here. Still 2/10 ahead in terms of accuracy, and a now 18,000 point buffer for them to work with here.
There is still a lot of chart remaining. While it looks like there's only a sliver of the drain time remaining, but any bad rush here coming from any of these players is going to be fatal towards their bid on winning this chart. But as it looks like Kzon will be the one picking this up. Both players actually missing on the same chord.
Yeah, those transitions, those 1/4 gallops, really causing a bit of discomfort for both players, but Kzon doing just enough to see themselves over the line to make it 3-2 now.
These are some funny miscounts.
This is the epitome of core jack play.
Yeah, definitely
You
a core
keep
jack play.
you keep that 150 column clean, almost keep the 200 column clean. Basically V1SS, 11 misses.
Yeah,
It's just how it goes.
quintessential core jack pick.
Yeah, but with that being said, Kzon finding their one opening on the right side of the pool and able to successfully capitalize on it. If they can manage to sneak out one more out of PouletFurtif, where we are going to be all notched up, but it really just comes down to if they can find it within themselves to pull out another good performance like that, and it's gonna have to be on Rice 5 here.
The longer of the two mixed rice picks. Oh wait, no, the shorter of the two mixed rice picks. I made a mistake there. Apologies about that. But yeah, we have Nemori no Hanataba. And Actually, pretty interesting. Like, in a way, this is straightforward, and at the same, it's not.
So I would say a mixed bag.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to
Like,
see how it develops. So we're venturing out of the realm of quote unquote straightforward rice picks. We've done the chord stream, we've done the single note stream, we've done the chord jack pick. We're now venturing into the realm of stuff that's a little bit more techy, more wild cardy. It'll be interesting to see how both players handle this one.
there is one section in this chart in particular that I'm pretty interested to see, and that is the mini delay section. I mean, there's a lot of delay-like patterns scattered throughout this entire chart, so I just hope that both of these players can manage to hit those with the accuracy that they have been showing throughout this entire match. So far,
I'm
so
sure
good for
they'll
PouletFurtif.
I'm sure they'll find a way to finagle the way through it as we continue on here, going into the second quarter of the chart now. Both players picking up a little bit of damage to their accuracy very early on, just a couple of stray bad judgments here and there, those opening chords, especially with the first note delay that some players do experience. It's very common to see early 200s being dropped, but both of them able to successfully climb back up to that 99% mark, closing the gap on each other, and it is only about 2,000 points in favor of the red side for the moment as we make our way into the back half of the chart now.
Well, we saw a few 200s dropping for PouletFurtif here, dropping them to just 99.4. Kzon, on the other hand, while maintaining the full combo, just 0.2% behind in terms of accuracy. But again, this chart is far from over. You see from the points total here, we're way halfway, way beyond halfway through the chart, and we're just starting to see the brunt of the notes here. PouletFurtif finding a miss here. Kzon, on the other hand, still maintaining a full combo. PouletFurtif finding yet another one, which just gives Kzon some breathing room and giving them a bid to get the break point and tie this match up.
Yeah, still a quarter of the chart left to go through here, despite PouletFurtif finding a couple of drops. Kzon responded with an accuracy drop of their own, still managing to hold on to the full combo for now, but definitely did not take full advantage of those drops as PouletFurtif now crosses that 400 combo cap. Last sliver of charge still left to go. This is a very interesting pattern to read through. Basically becomes single note streams. Can they hang on to the end? It is about 8,000 points, can swing in an instant, but Kzon is going to be able to do just enough to stave off PouletFurtif's advances and make it 3-3 now. Breakpoint reacquired.
Now we're on a glorified best of 5 now. Practically a shorter match that we had during the playoffs and round of 32. And this pool is so wide open for both of these players. I'm honestly not sure what route any of these two could take.
This could potentially be decided on the hybrids. I'm willing to throw that out there because of the fact that we haven't seen them just yet. And we still aren't. Kzon opting to go for LN4 here. Round out this LN pool on 357 Magnum. See if they can round it out in a positive note.
This chart is weird. Okay, like
Explain.
this chart, the most similar to what we had in the previous round is actually the LN density pick we had last week, Crush Alcohol. But this is way faster, way more technical, and I'm just not sure for some reason during my playtesting, I just cannot get a good run on this chart at all.
Is it because of the background? That wonderful, wonderful background?
Actually, not. When I was playtesting this for the showcase, it didn't have the background just yet.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah.
Well,
It might be it needed the background, I guess.
yes, that is the primary difficulty of this chart, maintaining focus with that thing staring at you. But I digress. We are continuing on in through the introduction of this chart. Poulet actually finding the first drop of the map. still holding up above that 99% mark, does finally fall below it, but they're going to be teetering along that line as Kzon manages to hold on to the FC for now. Despite being behind in the accuracy, they do take a bit of a score lead here, but it is very much surmountable. This is not even done with the first half, but Poulet finding another slider break here, not really able to establish a bit of a foothold in this chart so far, and it's giving Kzon a bit more of an advantage to work with.
I was mentioning that PouletFurtif would have been one Kzon miss away from snatching the lead back to their side. But Kzon has been formidable at least combo-wise this time around. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, I think you gotta stop praising the players. They can hear you. They are tuned in. They are dialed into your every single word. Trading misses on the exact same note. Poulet answering with an extra one in that exchange helps Kzon maintain this advantage as they both cross over that 400 combo cap once again. They are still holding on to the accuracy advantage as well, which is keeping Poulet in check, unable to really make an advance on this lead that Kzon has built up to the tune of about 14,000 points. Last quarter of the chart still coming through here. Despite the accuracies evening up here, Kzon has shown that their ability to combo game through some of these harder portions of these charts has been paying off dividends for them to be able to keep themselves ahead in this match so far. And as we make our way into the last eighth of the map, they trade misses once again. Once again, these misses only help Kzon in this regard, and they're going to be able to hang on here and take the lead in this match, making it 3-4.
Well, that was quite a sequence there. Actually, the lead reduced by just less than half of what it was before the ending sections, but Kzon doing just enough to fend off the threat coming in from PouletFurtif. I would say it's going to be PouletFurtif's turn now to even this up.
Yeah, we're basically all square once again. Those first three maps an enigma now as we make our way further into this match, and Poulet is going to be the first
Now,
one to venture into the hybrids. It's going to be happily ever after to start off this hybrid pool.
I'm interested why
Oh,
hybrid thief first though.
it
Oh, they're
wasn't
going for
hybrid 3, it's
hybrid
hybrid
one. All
1.
right. I was actually wondering, like, wait, why hybrid 3? Isn't that like, it might be impractical right now. If I like hybrid 3 would be very impractical right now, considering what we saw from Magnum. Um, Happily Ever After is the hardest of the three, in my opinion. And let's just say that the patterns there get crazy. They're crazy dense. Meanwhile, this one is going to be a bit more similar towards a bit more similar to Rise 2, patterning wise. With some changes in timing, at least for the streams, like you go 1/4 double stairs and then turns it to 1/3. Yeah, a lot of room to a lot of room for both of these players to commit any mistakes. But considering that PouletFurtif is the one picking this, I do hope that for the sake of getting to a tiebreaker, they get this point.
Oh, but not a very strong start from them, picking up a couple of very nasty slider breaks to start this map off. The one good thing for them is the fact that it was super early on. Definitely gives them plenty of room to recover. And with Kzon, with their accuracy drops through some of these charts sometimes, it does open a bit of a window of opportunity, but it's going to be Poulet's ability to recover their accuracy versus Kzon's ability to combo game their way through some of these charts, and they're doing that and maintaining the accuracy lead as well. 99.2 for them at the moment, keeping themselves about 0.5% ahead of PouletFurtif as they make their advance here going into the second third of the chart now.
Well, there is still a lot of chart remaining here, but PouletFurtif should start stepping it up just a bit, because I don't think that, especially at this stage in the match where the pool is starting to close, you don't really want to concede. Like, you don't want to be behind, but even by 2 points.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to be behind on a match point situation with your opponent up to pick. That is a dire situation to be in, There's still plenty of time, but that transition doesn't treat them too well. Kzon finally answers back with a miss of their own, but the damage might have already been done. 27,000 points, the lead in favor of Kzon at the moment. As we approach the last quarter of the chart, things start to calm down a little bit, a chance for both players to regain their composure. But because of the fact that neither of them are above that 400 combo cap, neither really opening up an opportunity to extend or shrink this lead as the density begins to ramp up once again. We approach the last sliver of the chart, and there are no answers back to give PouletFurtif an opportunity back in. And as the chart comes to an end, we're crossing that 900,000 point mark, and it is going to be Kzon picking up the break point to make it a match point situation. It is now 3-5.
PouletFurtif needs to win a break point and their final pick as well. Kzon, on the other hand, will be picking for the last time this match. And I do think that they need to make this count because momentum shifts have been quite vital towards this matchup.
For sure. And I imagine Hybrid 3 might be the pick here for Kzon to round us out if it is similar to 357, but it's gonna be Rice 6.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe they feel comfortable going into this. They've seen their performances on the later half of the Rice charts feel a little more comfortable. Maybe just not wanting to deal with shaky fingers releasing an LN inadvertently and settling it on Rice charts. Interesting strategy. Could pay off. This is a finals ticket on the line for them. At worst, they give over that break point and have to answer back with Poulet up to pick once again. And at the absolute worst, they go to tiebreaker.
And the tiebreaker, at least from what we're seeing right now, it does favor Kzon in a way, but we won't know much about that until PouletFurtif manages to get a break point here. And obviously the remaining charts are 2 hybrids. Yeah, everything could just be different in the end.
For sure. So good luck to both the players. 2 different scenarios on the line. Either we continue this match at least one more map, or Kzon punches their ticket into the top 6. Good luck to both of them. One of the longer charts in this pool as well.
It's a pretty messy start there from PouletFurtif, which is not something you want, but they are slowly climbing up. But they need to pick up the pace as soon as they could.
Yeah, for sure. It's able to hold on to the full combo for now, but you don't want to give your opponent too much of an advantage in terms of that accuracy, because if you do find the drops, you want to be able to mitigate some of the damage if at all possible, especially now they have both crossed and Kzon.
There's a miss. Kzon.
So
that throws a spanner in the works here.
For sure, an opportunity for PouletFurtif to build up an advantage to work on, but they're still behind in terms of the accuracy to the tune of about 1/10 of a percent. And as quickly as I say that, that lead is eliminated. They're both starting to drop down here into the clutches of the 98% range as they continue to battle here. Second quarter of the chart coming through. Poulet still holding on to the FC. Kzon getting above that 400 combo cap now, and it is about 2,000 points as hold on, a bit of lag. Oh, Poulet was an actual miss. Kzon was a bit of client lag. They managed to hold on to the combo, and Kzon pulls the advantage back in their favor going into the second third of the chart now with the accuracy lead as well.
Not exactly a position PouletFurtif would have wanted, and they find another miss.
Yeah, that transition not treating them too well. Maybe rushing one of those 3-note gallops there. And as we make our way into the back half of the chart, there's still plenty of time for them to make up the ground, but you can't cede too much of it to your opponent lest it become a mountain to climb over. And as we continue on, no answers back from Kzon just yet, building up on their advantage, stretching it to about 9,000 points. It is 0.25% of an accuracy advantage as well. It is really up to Poulet to pull something out of the bag, keep this as clean as humanly possible, begin to climb up in terms of their accuracy, and there's an opening. Kzon finds the drop going to the last part of the chart.
Well, there is still quite a mountain to climb here for PouletFurtif. But again, as you mentioned, they need to do something special here in the end, in this final quarter of this chart, and maybe hope as well that Kzon finds a few more moments of inconsistency as we're about to enter one of the hardest sections of this chart as well.
Yeah, they're both handling it so beautifully. Kzon crossing back over that 400 combo cap, gonna be able to stem some of the bleeding here, only giving up about 5,000 points to Poulet, still keeping their nose ahead for the moment, but Poulet is rolling that ball up the hill. The accuracy is climbing, Kzon's is falling. Last eighth of the chart still left to go. It is about 0.2% separating both the players. The lead about 7,000 points in favor of Kzon. They're starting to trickle their way ahead here, keeping themselves ahead. Maybe having a miss in the back pocket, but you definitely do not want to leave that up to chance as we make our way into the ending of this chart. It is still all to play for. Kzon still ahead for the moment, but Poulet is making it incredibly hard, maintaining the pressure as we make our way to the final sections. A couple more bursts to read through. Can they hang on? And they do.
Wow. Kzon just doing just enough in the end to keep
Just
themselves
enough.
ahead.
That could have gone either way there at the end. That was a ridiculous performance from both of them, pushing each other to the absolute limit. You can see, despite having... Actually, no, they won basically on all the important fronts, that 200 count and lower. That was definitely a very well put together performance from Kzon, keeping their composure just that little bit longer and punching their ticket into finals weekend, closing it out by a scoreline of 3-6, knocking PouletFurtif out of the tournament just before finals weekend. Commiserations to them, but they put up a fantastic performance on their run to make it this far.
Indeed, a fantastic performance there, and I'm pretty excited to see. I mean, like what? Like the French players in this tournament have been so phenomenal to look at overall, and I can't wait to see more of them sometime in other 7K tournaments should they happen. But yeah, my congratulations here to Kzon, and they will be facing quite a formidable opponent next weekend. But for now, I hope that they are happy with this victory. Alright, so our next match won't be happening until an hour. Actually, no. Wait, would it be an hour and 13 from now? Yeah, the 16 UTC will be happening from an hour and 13 from now. Wait, not 16, 18 UTC. Oh my gosh, the time is starting to get to my brain. Well, we're going to have a doubleheader, Accelerix against Rhymes with Mash, and we have Delta 386 facing Charlie's Mad Cut. Where, as far as I know, I think the scheduled match that we're going to be showing is going to be the Accelerix Rhymes with Mash at 18 UTC. So hope to see you guys then. Any final words, Sparky? Or I guess it's time for me to close this one out. So this is the OSB Apprentice Level 7K Tournament. See you guys later.